Planet Glee once again from San Francisco, our crazy, crazy town. And yeah, it's good to see you on a Wednesday. That's gonna be our new time, and we're gonna have a new name. I think I mentioned that before, and I'm gonna keep reminding that the planet is gonna be called something else than Glee, but I'm not sure what. And of course, I'm gonna have a name change and the whole thing. Yeah, just make things fresh. It's autumn, all of a sudden, and we are going to meet a very esteemed guest. I've been wanting to have her on the show for quite a while, and let me make sure that I can bring. She is on camera 3. Cristina! See? Camera 3, take. Yeah.
Hello, I'm Cristina Deptula, and I'm here with Synchronized Chaos International Magazine, which is a literary, variety, cultural art, nature, science, essay review publication. Basically an international variety magazine, which I started with a group of friends and colleagues back several years ago in the summer of 2008. And I'm just very excited to be able to share with you about the magazine tonight. We'd be very interested in having more volunteers, having a whole crew to get involved, to come aboard as teammates, and people to check us out and learn more about us, and have people send in artwork and writing of various sorts. So looking forward to telling you more about Synchronized Chaos magazine tonight.
Thank you, Cristina. I'm a terrible typist, so can you tell us a little bit about the September issue, what we're going to look for?
Oh, of course. Our issue is called Freedom Within Form. And kind of how our magazine works is that people send in submissions from wherever and everywhere throughout the course of a month. People email us, people contact us, and we take whatever the people have sent in, and then we develop a monthly theme out of that. And sometimes when we have a lot of submissions, it can be a challenge to really bring everything together and find that common thread. We've had to get very creative, and that happened in this past issue. And so it's called Freedom Within Form because it explores to an extent the different boundaries within which we work, internal and external constraints out there in our lives and in our art through forms of poetry people are writing in, and also just out there in daily life, and limits and constraints within which we work, and then how we're able to find freedom and creativity within that. So we've been able to relate all of our submissions to sort of that common thread, and we describe that in our editorial letter.
Okay, so submissions. Let's do. It's so nice to have you. We met at one of your meetings that you had at.
Yes, over at Cafe International over in the Haight in San Francisco. We're an international magazine, so people from all over everywhere are participating with us. However, I'm in the San Francisco Bay Area in San Lorenzo, actually east of San Francisco. But we periodically have receptions. I host them where I am, and we encourage other people to do them in their own cities where they are.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've done several events, usually in San Francisco or Oakland or Berkeley, to be able to get the most people. And so at an event several years ago over in Cafe International, I met Jennifer Glee, who is an artist, visual artist, who was hanging up some of her work, and we struck up a conversation, and she let me know about Planet Glee. And so she invited me to be on the show at that point.
Actually, we have Planet Glee has seen 2 people from Synchronized Chaos. The gentleman who wrote the book about doing drag in Japan.
Oh yes, Charles Ayers.
Charles,
yes.
That was a good show. We had a caller that night.
Oh, wonderful. I'm very happy to hear that. Charles is a big personality and very excited about his book. We were thrilled to be able to participate with him in getting his memoir reviewed, as we take book reviews as well as original submission, as well as individual submissions.
Nice. What did I want to say? Remind people that we have a phone number and we have a call. It's going off. Hello. Hi, you're on Planet Glee. Hello.
Oh, hi. This is Monique.
Monique. Oh, how are
Hello.
you?
Hi, Monique.
Hi. How you doing?
Doing all right. How are you?
All right. Are you on TV too, or on the internet?
Yes, the link should be streamed, and yes, I'm excited. I am.
Oh, great. Oh, that sounds wonderful.
Yeah, do you want me to give you the internet
Yeah.
thing? Okay, it's of course www
Uh huh.
dot b as in boy a
Uh huh.
v
Mhm.
c
Mhm.
dot org
Okay.
/ channel 76.
Channel 76. Okay, great. I got it. I'll go on right now.
Monique is a writer and performer as well.
Oh, wonderful. Well, I would love to learn more about you and about your work, and perhaps you'd be interested in submitting to Synchronized Chaos.
Yeah. That sounds great.
Oh, thanks for calling in, love.
Oh yeah, you're welcome.
Okay.
So, would
Have
you
a
like to
good
share
one.
anything about yourself?
Yeah, yes, that was a nice question. Thank you, Christina.
Oh, what's that?
Would you like to share anything about yourself and your work?
Oh, well, I do poetry and I do performance art.
Oh,
And I use live music. My friend plays music while I do performance art.
oh, cool. Interesting. Well,
Yeah.
we look forward to hearing more from you.
Okay, thank you so much. Have a good one. I'll go on right now.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for calling. Good to meet you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Okay. Ciao, Monique. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome, Jennifer.
Love
Thank
you. Bye.
Bye.
Actually, I have footage of Monique and a group of poets in women poets, actually.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, that is Monique is how I met them. Monique was the one who introduced me to them. They are called. You remember? I'll think of it. Meanwhile, that was really sweet for Monique to call us.
Oh, I'm very happy to hear from Monique. So, yeah, we look forward to learning. I look forward personally to getting to know her and learning more about her. She seemed interesting. So, anyway, I'd like to. Yes.
A lot of women, especially. What is their name? Hopefully, Jennifer Barone or Cara Vita or Ingrid Kerr will call in and let us know.
Oh, wonderful. Would love to hear more from them. And if there's time, I'd like to share a little bit more about Synchronized Chaos, kind of how we got started.
Of course. Let's see. Let's go there.
Sort of what the magazine is about.
Okay. Dum Jennifer. Just the screen. Do you want to look at it for a second?
Sure.
There it is. It's on our screen. And you told me that that's the Brooklyn Bridge.
Yes.
Which I wouldn't have known.
Oh.
I love it. I love that picture.
Yeah, it's just a WordPress template, but we had a crew working with us at that point, and they found it and said it was a classy background.
Absolutely. Oh, well, yeah, you have all the depth and from the photo. So, do you change the template every month to suit?
I think that we should. I would really like to do that. That's a good idea because we come up with a different editorial theme and then a different letter and different art that we share.
Mm-hmm.
So we change a lot of it, but it would be really good if we were able to change the background. That's a very good idea.
Well, that way you could somehow just change the banner color and still have the same format, and then everyone would go to it and say, okay, that's Synchronized Chaos.
Yes, because we would need to keep some things common and recognizable as our brand.
Yeah.
Maybe some things that are the same and some things that are different, as with Synchronizing the Chaos. And we have been around 6.5 years, which we're very proud of, with varying different groups of people working with us at any one time. But the magazine itself has been around 6.5 years. And that's an accomplishment, as there are a lot of projects that come and go. So this is something that is working, and we would like to be able to keep with it. And I originally started the magazine together with friends and other people in the summer of 2008, August 2008.
Mm-hmm.
And initially, I had the idea to start a literary magazine. As you know, I was a liberal arts graduate trying to figure out what to do in the Bay Area between jobs. And I thought, oh, okay, I'm going to start a magazine. Then I thought, there are so many out there. What am I going to do that is unique, that is different? How can I make something that is unique that people would read? And I thought every way to be unique had probably been taken. And so I looked around at the people around me and I said, well, what do they have? Well, they have a lot of new and interesting work that just doesn't seem to be very easy to get published because it's between the genres. And I thought, okay, I'm going to start a magazine that is a home for that type of work. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to make something that takes interesting work, but that doesn't have to turn things away just because it doesn't fit into whatever the predefined theme is for that month. Yeah. But I still wanted to be organized and have a monthly theme. So I came up with the idea of coming up with a theme after we've received all of the submissions. So we get a lot of pieces about travel or immigrant narratives from different countries. Our theme might be international or migration, or we get a lot of poems about people meditating or people going off into the wilderness. The theme might be introspection or togetherness with nature, something like that. And so that way we can have a theme and be organized enough to read, but we still don't have to turn away work we love just because it's not what we were expecting. So we've been working with this for, as I said, 6.5 years. I'm excited about that. And sometimes I look around at the world and I think, oh, people are starving, there are environmental issues, war, poverty. Why did I start another literary magazine or literary and art? You know, does the world really need that? But then we get people submitting, dozens of people every month. And I think that people wouldn't do that if it weren't fitting a real need. You know, we get submissions from incarcerated people, from people around the world, in Egypt and Nigeria, people in various states, just all different sorts of people. You know, we've had, homeless people come over and submit to us, and a gentleman said he was just wandering, traveling around with a backpack and had overheard me talking about Synchronized Chaos in a cafe, and he came over and handed me his pieces, and he said he didn't have access to a computer, but he had a couple of poems he had written about his dog, and he said he would likely never be able to see them himself. It would make him so happy to know that his work was somewhere out there in print, out in the universe, under his pen name. So just people want to be able to share and they want to be able to contribute. I think in a way it's a sense of giving back and of putting something out there in the world, somehow adding to the world, something creative and something unique. So it's a contributory thing, as an unselfish thing. I see that people are making something, producing something, and giving back. And our magazine offers a venue for people to be able to do that. And I believe that it's meeting a real human need. And so that's why people have kept coming back for so long. Even people we don't even know. So whatever, I just see it as I keep doing it because I am motivated to keep doing it because I see it meeting a real need.
Yeah, I think it's admirable that you even are wondering if it's helping people. I think, do you, how broad a spectrum of ideologies is that too specific?
Oh, it's very broad, all different sorts of ideas. Mm-hmm. We've had some Sunday school teachers, we've had high school kids. We have a couple of interesting stories. There was a woman once I was outside Civic Center Bar coming out from a comedy show, and I noticed an elderly woman standing there with the street sheets who was panhandling, and I was walking by her. I thought, oh, I'm going to give her $1, but then I was looking through my purse and I couldn't find any money, and I had already made eye contact with her and engaged her in conversation, so I didn't just want to go away after not giving her anything. And so I wanted to offer something, and so I gave her a Synchronized Chaos business card and mentioned that I was with an art and cultural and literary magazine and we'd like to have her submit. And then she stopped and said, wait a minute, I'm an artist, a serious artist. Let me go back and show you some of my work. And she wandered off. And I stood there for about 20 minutes. It must have been, I remember thinking, I've never seen this person before. What is she doing? I don't know if she's coming. How long am I going to wait? And then I looked around and I saw her. And she's pulled out all of these beautiful hand-drawn colored pencil pieces. And it turned out she had been one of the first women admitted to Princeton. And it was there on a stained glass scholarship. And somehow, through the course of her journey, she had gotten sick, she'd fallen into some problems, and she'd ended up on the street, but was now just getting her life together. She was in a small motel room with a social worker and was finally able to get some medical care. and was in the process of putting her life together, and selling the newspaper was part of that. But she was also starting to draw again, starting to draw with colored pencil some of the same types of images that she had made with the stained glass. And her artwork was called Happy Armageddon, which was these colorful series of sort of biblical imagery, but of sort of like the land of milk and honey. She would draw these lovely rolling hills with fire and destruction coming, but then the sun would always have a huge smile on it. And she would write Happy Armageddon, the land of milk and honey. And her work was talking about her recovery from addiction and her getting off the streets as a metaphor. And she said, look, the end of the world and my life have involved a lot of change. And I'm here to show that we don't always have to fear change, because as my life shows, change can be good, or change can represent an opportunity, and we can make the most out of those opportunities. So we were able to showcase her work, and I became friends with her over time, and we were able to give her that platform. And I was actually able to come and visit her little apartment room a while later, and she invited me in for English tea and for Beethoven music on a small piano someone had brought in. So wonderful little story. And then we have an Egyptian lady who has found us, who is a quite talented, awesome writer and a pharmacist. And in their country, being a pharmacist is somewhat like being a doctor. They go through a lot of the same medical training. So basically an Egyptian physician, this amazing, brilliant woman. And over there in Alexandria, where she is, amongst some of the youth culture, some of the college students, they think that being interested in other countries is cool. And so she's taken an interest in Western culture. And so she was writing to me to teach me about my own history. And so she sent in poetry about different aspects, both of her life and her culture, and some about just common human feelings and emotions. And then she started writing a little bit about the United States, and she wrote about different times in which people were outcasts and they were persecuted. And she said she felt that way in Egypt. And so she wrote to me poetry, lengthy epic poetry about the Salem witch trials. So I was able to publish that from an Egyptian national. And we were excited about that. We had people from various different countries, from Asia, from sub-Saharan Africa, people talking about what is going on in their countries, people who are cultural and poetic authors, people who are political commentators, who don't have a venue elsewhere. We've even gotten a crew of students from a university in southern Georgia. We got sent a variety of final papers from an English freshman composition class, because the professor gave the students the assignment to go and get their work published somewhere, and we're open to submissions from new and emerging writers. We take people at various ends of the spectrum, various levels of experience. We will work with people who've been published everywhere and are on the New York Times. We'll work with certain mid-list authors. We'll work with people where it's the first thing they've ever written. And we would love to bring in volunteers to be able to expand the magazine, where we could do more in the way of official mentoring and providing links and offering community and service to the writers and artists.
Absolutely fabulous. Do you think, and Monique called in 861-6648. Sorry we don't have a character generator here tonight. Just happened that way. Technology, we know how it is.
And what happens sometimes?
Oh yeah. So I was wondering, Christina, if we could go back to the magazine for a sec.
Sure.
And so if we were to navigate it, we're in home.
Okay.
And then about. Should we go to about? Okay, about.
Yeah, about talks a little bit about our magazine, our aesthetic, sort of how the process works, why we started our magazine. And it's called Synchronized Chaos because when I was thinking about how our magazine worked in terms of developing a theme after we've received all the submissions, it reminded me of a concept in mathematics called chaos theory, or the study of self-organizing systems in nature, which is when you look at something, maybe the number of petals on certain types of flowers, or the way that snowflakes fall or are shaped. Something looks random to us. As far as we can tell, it's random, but we don't know whether it's really random or not, or if we can tell if something is ever truly random. It might have more to do with the initial conditions of how something got started than we expected. And so there's this whole branch of mathematics called chaos theory that deals with how patterns form, or with self-organizing systems that sort of form internal patterns, even when they seem to be random to us, and has to do with whether we can tell with our human minds whether something is really random. And so that was similar to how our magazine got started. We thought, okay, we're taking all these submissions, and then the people are sending in their work, and it seems random, but perhaps it's not. Maybe it's not exactly in a vacuum. People are looking at previous issues and getting clues and getting inspiration for what they might send our way. And so it's sort of back to that self-organizing system. So we were going to name ourselves Chaos Theory, but we found out there is a magazine called Chaos Theory, and so we went with Synchronized Chaos, which is sort of a similar idea, but slightly different wording.
I like it. I really like it. Yeah, I wasn't too bad at math myself, so I think I got that.
Oh, well, that is cool.
Subscribe via emails. I'm jumping ahead to, so that's in this section. That's in about. Because I kind of want to take our viewers.
Oh, yes, of course.
How to submit.
Okay, that's if you would like the magazine to be emailed to you. As you can get a summary of all of the blog posts. We're using a background WordPress software, and WordPress allows readers to get a summary of all of the posts sent to them via email. And so if you type your email address in that box, that's how it works.
Okay, and then here are the archives.
So past issues.
All right. How about August 2013?
Oh, yes, artistic renderings.
Oh. And then to get to the art, we go to masthead? Or?
Okay, well, to get to those, scroll down, actually.
Okay.
Scroll down and you'll see all the submissions, and everything is hyperlinked.
Okay.
Oh, and then you see the column, Whose Brain Is It?
Yes.
That's another wonderful story. As I said, we take book reviews, and so I met up for coffee with a woman named Lena, who had a book all about the different artwork in the mission, all the different multicultural murals.
Yes.
And when I was interviewing her about her book, then she and I struck up a conversation, and she said she would like to submit to Synchronized Chaos, and she asked if we accepted columns, and I said yes. And she said she'd like to write one, and I assumed that it would be something to do with the content of her book. But it turned out that she actually had a strong interest in neuroscience, and she wanted to write about the biology of the human brain. And so together with a professor at Stanford, a neuroscience professor, she came up with a concept for a column called Whose Brain Is It?, where she described what was going on in the brain during certain kinds of human experiences. For example, when you're hungry, when you're stressed out, when you're tired, when you're bored, when you're learning new information. She would describe what was going on in the brain, and you would have to figure out the human emotion or the sensation. So she had that going for about a year and a half, and it really added a lot of variety in class and interest to the magazine.
Interesting. Yeah, I like that. Okay, I want to go back, and then of course, as you said, you scroll down and there's more art.
Yeah, you scroll down, you can see book reviews. There's a gentleman's travel to Borneo.
Do you also have video?
Yes, we always do accept video.
Okay. And video and music?
Yes, we accept submissions of all types.
Interesting. I like these paintings. Let's see if we can get it to go bigger.
Yeah, you should be able to click and get a larger image.
Yeah, and then also you seems like you have a place for interaction between.
Oh yes, we would love for people to be able to leave comments.
Yes, and you have that here too. Great, fantastic. Submission guidelines. Okay, so that is on every issue, submission guidelines?
Yes, it's always available through the link on the site. And the submission process is very easy. You simply email your work to us at synchchaos, synchchaos @gmail.com.
Okay, cool.
And we have rolling deadlines. There's no deadline, so whatever month you send us your work, you will see your work in the upcoming month's issue.
That is too cool for school. Where do I want to go? Whoopsie. There. Yeah, I'm really impressed And actually, the show was over at 6:22. I think.
Oh.
Yeah. That went too fast.
Oh gosh. Well, I was very excited to be part of that.
It's good. I like how you're just accepting. You're like,
oh,
what?
Okay,
yeah, that's fine. That's good.
Oh, so it's all recorded. I'll be able to see it, or
it should be. Even though we are having they assured me, even though there's some trouble with the board, that it froze. I really need to. This is a whole new system.
Oh,
we just got it in January, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Or that's when it became available to us. And I know now it's October almost, and I think the kinks are still being worked out. It's technology, but yes, it is under Richard Rance, but they can edit it.
Oh, okay.
Edit, where Richard Rance was ended, and then where we began.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I feel I got across the most important things. What I was trying to get at is just kind of what makes our magazine unique, sort of how we come up with Synchronized Chaos and what that means.
Yeah.
And I wanted to tell the story about the lady at Civic Center Bart, and I wanted to talk about Lena's column, and I wanted to talk about people from foreign countries submitting to us.
Yes. That's good.
We have a Nigerian possible political dissident who writes for us about his country, and we're an outlet for him. He might not have a safe international outlet other than us. It might not be safe for him to get published in his country, and he's able to get published with us, and we were able to publish a bunch of college kids and senior citizens.
It's good.
So yeah, I'm excited about. So
he's coming to tell us that we're done, but I want to make sure that we're recorded.
Okay, sure.
So I'm gonna just if you feel like talking more about the magazine, or do you have an editor's column for yourself?
It's the editorial letter where we sum up all the submissions.
Okay, so thank you, Christina.
Thank you.
So
That's great. We can hear you as well.
Okay.
And Andrew, so it's recorded too?
Yes, it's recording right now.
Perfect.
We have everything. So what I'll do is, me and Ann will let you know, or Lydia, that because we have just that whole 2 hours of recording. We'll go ahead and cut up the sound. We'll cut up yours and his and make it 2 separate files.
Okay.
So when we re-air it.
Great. So